We had just moved into an old house, only a bit of a ways down the road from where we lived before. My brother and I didn't understand why we had to move away, but Mother just said it had something to do with the church, and that it wasn't safe there anymore. Well, we still didn't understand, but we left it at that, as it was obvious that the subject was disturbing Mother. She would eventually avoid the subject, make our supper, and send us to bed every night. She told us to never bother the neighbors and keep away from the other children. Again, my brother and I were quite upset. We wanted friends. We wanted to play with other children. We wanted to be normal like everyone else, but Mother forbade this. So often, my brother and I would sit at our windows and watch the other children laugh and play around in the neighborhood. Sometimes, we would even begin to cry. We were children, after all, and very lonely. We couldn't go to school like the other children. We were schooled at home by Mother. We had no friends, nor could we make any. People don't understand us, Mother would always say. It was her reason for everything. We didn't know what she meant, and by that time, we didn't care. Me and my brother decided to run away from home that night. In spite of our young age, we felt trapped there with Mother. We were trapped there with her. And they were the most unfair of circumstances. Children should be allowed to be children. My brother said he knew a great spot in the woods where we could build our very own treehouse to live in. We would enroll ourselves in school and make 1,000,000 friends to play with. I was excited, but I was also afraid. We had never been away from Mother before. I shadowed my brother as we crept quiet as mice through the house. It seemed so foreign compared to the dark closet we were kept in. And although my heart leapt into my throat, not a peep was made. The sound of the front door croaking open was deafening. No matter how quiet we tried to be, we were just grateful that Mother hadn't been woken up by it. Closing it behind us seemed even louder, maybe because we were that much closer to blessed freedom. But once it was closed, we ran until we reached the woods, terrified and second-guessing ourselves with every breath. Oh, we were free. We built our tree house in a far-off oak deep in the woods. It wasn't perfect, but it would do the job that it was intended to do. We climbed the rickety ladder, made ourselves comfortable, and went to sleep. It was a cold night, but we managed so long as we huddled close. "Look, Kevin, a tree house!" the two runaways heard from a distance. It woke them up instantly. Their first friends. They poked their heads outside their rough little abode and saw two young lads not much older than them approaching. They wanted to be good hosts, of course, and made their way back down the rickety ladder, waiting for the boys to get close enough to speak to make friends. Their smiles were broad and awkward, and they felt it. Could they even remember smiling before? Without warning, the boys stopped and began to run in the other direction, leaving the brothers confused but patient. Maybe they'd forgotten something, or maybe they went to get more of their friends to play with us, my brother surmised. "Yeah, you're probably right. This is a pretty cool treehouse, but maybe we should make a yard and a sign," I said anxiously. We were busy and hard at work when we saw them approaching again. More of them this time. "You were right," I said excitedly. "See, I told you!" One of the boys, a red-headed, freckle-faced lad with thin lips and a pointed nose, shouted as he pointed a stick at them. "Hi, guys. Do you want to see our treehouse?" I asked nervously. One of the boys picked up a rock and hurled it hard at my brother, then me. When they all began doing it, we didn't know what to do. It didn't hurt, really, but we were terrified. "They must be bullies!" I shouted as we were pelted over and over again. Suddenly, from the other side of us came a shriek unlike any other that we had heard before. We knew who it was. The pelting suddenly stopped, and when we looked up, all we saw was a stick hitting the ground, and a handful of boys running in the other direction. We looked at the ground as we turned to face her. We knew we'd be severely punished for running away, but to our surprise, she knelt, took our chins in her hands ever so gently. With her half-gnarled lips, she kissed my brother's shallow cheek and brushed his matted hair from where his eyes used to be. She then kissed me on the charred flesh of my forehead. My hair had been burned away in that hateful fire so long ago. Mother's good eye looked us over, the other having been boiled from its socket. Her rickety, skinless hand took ours as she spoke. I told you, boys. People don't understand us. She kissed us again, tenderly, as only a mother could. Now, let's go home. I'll make cookies, she said, walking along the wooded path back to our new home.